Hello, my name is Mary Joan Reuter, and I have another video for you, tips for studying English for beginning and general foundational English. I am the Social Services Education Program Coordinator of the Islamic Center of Greater Cincinnati, and my contact information is here. One source that I found useful that you can get on the internet is Language Guide. And the language guide is basically a picture dictionary with different topics. So you choose a topic that you like, for example, the body, and then you click on that, and then it will show you different pictures. It will say the word, and it's just a good way of learning vocabulary. Another online resource that I like is USA Learns online courses. And they have a couple of general English and a couple of others as well. These are set up as courses, and you can go through section by section. Each one has a little introduction. It has some activities that you can do, and then it will mark whether you've completed it, and if it's a score, they'll give you a score. You can also sign up so that you do it individually and you get all of that information, that feedback, or you can also do that working with a teacher. And then as you do your work and your quizzes, that information goes to the teacher also. USA Learns online courses. Some other just generally about writing, phonics, and spelling. There's a lot of good material on different websites, such as Learning Chocolate. This is a website that is for children, but you can use it for adults. Um, so learningchocolate.com, and then you would find alphabet and phonics. There is also a publisher called New Readers Press that does a lot of material and books specifically for learning reading and writing. They have a series of books called Focus on Phonics and a series of books, Patterns in Spelling, and so on. That's the New Readers Press. There are other ways of learning phonics. I've mentioned before about a website called Quizlet, and Quizlet is electronic study flashcards and study techniques. And you would look up, you go on to Quizlet. This is all free. Go on to Quizlet.com, and then in the search, you type in what you want. For example, you might search phonics and then short vowel or something. Also, when you are learning to read and write, you need to learn what they call sight words, or some people call them fry words, or so on. And you can get those as lists or flashcards. Sight words are all the short words that we use very, very frequently, and the, and with, and those you just need to memorize. You need to be able to do them quickly, quickly. You just see it and you read it. You see it and you read it. Practice, practice, practice. So you can get words, list of words like that on the internet, or you can also find apps that have sight words. Other things that you can do with paper and pencil writing practice. So you can practice writing with your pen. You can practice with tactile techniques. That means something that you can feel. So you can do something in rice, write the letters in rice or sandpaper or shaving cream, etc. You can also practice with kinesthetic techniques, moving the objects or the letters around. You can write letters and then move them. You can use note cards and post-it notes. You can make your own flashcards on paper. For learning conversation, there are different things that you can do. Generally, it's good to try to make yourself talk in every situation you can think of. If you go to the grocery store, you might say something to the cashier for 2 minutes, 1 minute. But there are also some websites. There's a lot of good stuff by somebody named Rong Cheng. She has a lot of different conversations that you can look to by topics. And in general, there's also ESL Fast, which is related, and she has really easy dialogues you can listen to and see the conversation. Pronunciation. When you're talking about pronunciation, you can focus on individual sounds. For example, t and d, or r and l. Another part of pronunciation is stress, rhythm, and intonation. That's the music of English. Some languages are very regular. Bump, bump, bump. We are not. So there's stress, how loudly you say syllables, there's rhythm, there's intonation of sentences and phrases. One way of working on stress, rhythm, and intonation is with a rubber band. If you listen to something, maybe TV in the other room, where you're not really worrying about exactly the meaning, but just the sounds, and you can move the rubber band as the sounds change. That gives you stress, rhythm, and intonation. Something else I did want to talk about also was a phenomenon called fast speech. And this is something that Americans learn indirectly, but in fact, this is, according to linguistics research, how most Americans usually talk. When people speak quickly, they blend sounds together, drop out some syllables, and it changes from the way it is written. So, for example, there's a book that helps people work on this. It's called What Do You Say? When in fact, uh, you might be expecting, what do you say? Or you might expect to hear, what are you going to do tonight? But in fact, most Americans will say, what you going to do tonight? So, and they've studied this, and in fact, people at very formal levels as well as informal actually talk like this. We don't write that. We never actually write that, but that is how most people talk, and so you need to be able to listen to and understand that. So for families, and especially with small children, there is a website called Unite for Literacy, uniteforliteracy.com. Very nice one. It gives you all sorts of books on different topics, and you can do this with you and your child. You click on a book, puppies and kittens, and then it will, just like a little picture book, and it reads along, and you can listen and you can hear it as you're reading it. It does have the feature that you can click on the narration, and it will also give you the translation, and you pick, for example, Arabic or whatever. It doesn't give you all the Arabic words, but it will tell you page by page what the meaning was in other languages. So that's really a good thing that you can do with small children who would like the book, and in the meantime, you're actually learning the phonics, the sounds. Another source that I think is helpful, and this is written for adults, is something that's called the Bow Valley Readers. This was produced in Canada, and they're short books with pictures and one sentence per page. And again, it reads it out loud. And they have at several different levels. So we will be giving the website on that separately. Oh, and all of these resources I'm giving you are free. Also online is something called Marshall Adult Reading. This is a little higher up, and this is leveled series of readings. So levels 1 through 8. There's a short reading on different life skills topics about communication, transportation, medical, so different life skills, little reading, and then some questions about what it means afterwards. Okay. For conversation, there's a lot of material on YouTube, and you can find just generally, you can look for your favorite recipes, you can listen for news. There are special news sites that are designed to help you learn English. So maybe there is Simpler English. There's one called Breaking News English. There's another one called Voice of America, Special English. And they will have news stories with current news, but simpler language. And then you can listen and read along. And then finally, for conversation in general, there's a lot of good material out there, but I recommend, for example, anything by Mark Kulik. And then Mark Kulik, Easy Conversations, and he has 5-minute conversations, and he reads. He has the words on the screen. You read along, and you listen, and you read along, and you listen, and it's fun. Okay, in-person opportunities, and hopefully as things start opening back up, there will be more available. Include the public library in Cincinnati, and Hamilton County and Butler County have some wonderful resources. Conversation groups. Work on your hobbies with other English speakers. So if your hobby is gardening, be in a garden club with English speaking Americans, and then you just will talk about what you're interested in. And volunteering. Other opportunities for in-person learning with community-based groups. As I said earlier, just small conversations. If you take the bus, talking for 2 minutes with the person next to you on the bus, if you're at the grocery store, and so on. If you have kids, talk to other parents. Opportunities and techniques for learning using phones and computers. So, pictures and signs from when you are out and about. So you can take a picture of signs on the streets as you read. Make sentences about the photos that you make. Make sentences about emojis. You know, the little happy faces, or the little pictures of flowers and so on. I put down here WhatsApp and texting. You can use your photos or screenshots. And I will even add, possibly even now, Telegram. You can use the text to speech, but I am suggesting phase out. Slowly get rid of your translator. Try using your pictures and try saying things in English. Don't always just quickly go to your translator. Other things that you can do is to make your own booklet, small book. So on each page, you might want to write a short and put a picture, write one short sentence and a picture. Phone calls and video conferencing. If you're still using Zoom or Google Meet and so on, there are different things. Don't forget, you can use captions. Those put the words on. You can use chat. You can put little comments. You can put in links and so on. You can do the raise hand. You can take your screenshots. And some cases there are whiteboards that you can use. For example, we've been using Jamboard, where you put something on and somebody else writes, and we have fun doing that all together. Some people like games. There's a couple games that I think are helpful for learning language. Padlet, Kahoot, and some other games. You can also work on your English by doing projects. For example, you could put together a welcome guide for newer immigrants. You could put together a cookbook with some of your best recipes. You could work together on a project on emergency preparation and first aid. Or you could put together a lot of information about your culture. Or putting together health information about COVID-19 or whatever else you wanted to do. So those are all different ideas that you could do to learn English. I hope that it has been helpful. Thank you. Bye.